Scott McNair, injury attorneys, we fight for the win.
Good morning, everybody. This is David Vickner along with my co-host, Brad Scott. Good morning, Brad.
Good morning, David. How are you?
Doing well. Welcome to the Overrule Podcast, brought to you by the Scott Vickner Law Firm. Brad, it's been a minute. We haven't recorded together the last couple of shows. You've recorded one. I've recorded a couple without you, so it's nice to be back in the podcast studio.
It's nice to be back in here. We got a little bit different setup, too, and looking forward to some more changes coming up in the future.
Yes, yep. So it's a good morning. We just had a big concert in town. I don't know if you heard about it.
Was it Taylor Swift?
Yeah.
I heard a little bit about it.
Yeah.
So did you make it out to the concert, David?
I did not make it out to it. Luckily, our good friends at Fox 8 WVUE Local First, our good friends over at Fox, acceded to my request to make my little niece Violet's dream come true. And Violet and some of my other family members were able to go.
So you're definitely the favorite uncle right now in the family, I'd imagine.
I think I'm riding a high. I'm like George Costanza in Seinfeld. I'm leaving on a high note. So she had an incredible time. It was just awesome to see her be able to go experience that and get excited for it and she made a jean jacket with all the Taylor Swift stuff on it and had her friendship bracelets.
And some friendship bracelets, I assume.
Yeah.
But whether you like Taylor Swift or not, did you see some of the numbers that came out as far as the economic impact it had on the city? One of the news outlets is reporting a $500 million impact on the city economically. Just to give you some comparison on that, I pulled some other numbers. 2013 was the last time we had the Super Bowl in New Orleans, $480 million. For a Super Bowl. And then Mardi Gras is estimated to generate about $900 million a year for the city of New Orleans. So Taylor's right up there with $500 million of economic impact to the city. Huge win for the city.
Yeah, I have some really strong opinions on this. So I'm going to dissect it a little bit, I think.
All right, let's do that.
So I'm not like the biggest Swiftie from the standpoint of like I don't listen to her music. And I also know that she probably is become quite political, so she could in some ways be polarizing and put some people to put their walls up because of political stances she's taken. And so I like acknowledge that and understand that. But at the same time, when you push all that aside, I'm like, I don't know how you can look at any of this of what I witnessed with that concert and the impact it had on New Orleans except like incredibly positive.
Absolutely, 100%. I'm always of the mindset that actors and athletes should stay out of politics to begin with. So what they have to say, I don't really care what they have to say. But yeah, I mean, I saw some of the videos like from TikTok on Bourbon Street in the French Quarter. It was like downtown Disney. It was amazing. It was clean. Everybody singing songs. And the big thing I kind of took away from it was that, and I talked to a couple people that went to the concert, and for them, they expressed to me like it was almost like a life-changing event. It's a core memory type thing. So you have these families out there, dads, moms, teenage daughters, little kids. One of their core memories is this extremely positive memory that they are going to link to New Orleans for the rest of their lives. So not only the $500 million impact it had now, but people in the future are going to want to come back to the city because they have a real positive experience that they had there, which I think, you can't put a value on that.
Absolutely. I mean, you look at I watched all these living downtown, and we work downtown. The office, our South Shore primary office is downtown. Seeing all these little girls and their moms and dads and families going to this, they're all dressed up, excited, a memory that they're going to have for the rest of their lives. That's cool. Like, I don't care what you say to me about like Taylor's politics, whether you like her music or not. Like, that is just so cool. And I actually got a chance to see just very close lifelong friends of mine who were able to bring their kids to the concert, their daughters. And you see the videos, especially I'm thinking about my little goddaughter, Eleanor, Gary, and Candace's daughter, like seeing her excitement and just the emotions on her face from being at the concert. It's just a really special thing.
It's like Christmas morning for them.
Bigger than Christmas morning for them in some ways. I mean, like, I've never seen some of these reactions out of kids that I was shown, like some from friends sending me video and pictures of their daughters and kids and seeing how much my niece loved it. It's just a really special and incredible thing. It's all positive. Like, she's not sitting up there spewing curse words or negative things in relation to the lyrics and her music lyrically. So it's a family-friendly event, and it has brought some serious freaking money into the city. Yep. I mean, when you think about the retail stores that we have on Magazine, the retail stores in the French Quarter, the restaurants. A common refrain I get, right, as I was mentioning this to you before we get on the show. Well, the city's going to get, city of New Orleans going to get all this money, and then they're just going to blow it. And I'm like, maybe, but like, let's stay away.
When we say the city, it's not the city,
Exactly.
the government. It's like all the businesses. You got to figure what its capacity. 65,000 tickets are sold 3 nights. It's almost 200,000 people coming into the city over a weekend. But it's a big feather in the hat of the city again to show that we know how to throw a party. The city went all out. I mean, I saw the videos of the cops and the people working in the police detail. They had the friendship bracelets. They're sharing it with people. They lit up the Crescent City Connection in rainbow colors. Had the big massive friendship bracelet in the front of the Superdome. The French Quarter was amazing. I hear of any crimes being occurring during those 3 days. It's like we can put on a party. So it's good for people to have just from the tourist industry, but also the convention business and stuff like that. People see an event like this, they see it happening, they see it very successful, they see all the amazing video and the family-oriented type things. More people don't want to schedule conventions here. So, I mean, this has a long-lasting economic impact for the city when Ms. Swift visited.
100%. It starts at the airport. I mean, look, the economics of it is whether it's most of those restaurants and shops, one of the things they did right in the airport when they redid the airport, I mean, we could have a whole different show on the things they did wrong. The exit ramp.
The last 2 times I've been there, I can't park at the airport.
That's pretty messed up too, but I don't want to take us down a rabbit hole of what they screwed up with the airport. We have a beautiful new airport, relatively new, 2 years old. And all of those, as most people who fly out of here know, those restaurants and shops in there are all mostly local brands.
Authentic local brands,
which was a great thing that they did in placing a lot of local restaurants and shops in there. And those people pay rent. And it's not cheap because they're getting foot traffic from the airport, and they have inventory, and they have costs in running those businesses. I can guarantee you, if you went and talk to any of those small business owners, that they were ecstatic to have Taylor Swift here.
Absolutely.
Because of the tens of thousands of people who went through that airport and spent money. They all decked out their stores with Taylor Swift stuff. And it wasn't just like at the airport. If you looked at what happened on Magazine Street and a lot of our retail corridors in the city, they all were like decorating everything for Taylor Swift. The hotels, because they knew
they leaned into it.
They knew the economic impact of these people visiting and spending money. And I'm with you. I mean, I looked at a video on Bourbon Street and I'm like, looking around the video.
Is this Bourbon Street? It looked like downtown Disney.
Where's the vomit?
Well, I saw so many people walking around with open-toe shoes and like, oh, no, you can't do that in the French Quarter.
I saw one little girl singing and a whole crowd dancing and singing with her. And I'm like, the street was clean and there was nobody passed out. And I was like, is that Bourbon Street? So just so many positive things that came from it. Everything about it was positive. And I do think that what you said is a note that I hadn't thought of is like walking downtown in the day or two before the concert. A lot of the local buildings downtown that had sound systems on the outside, for example, were playing Taylor Swift music. A lot of the local businesses, especially like Walk-Ons and Coppervine right next to our building, had built out tent and capacity to help handle all the excess guests and people coming in, buying drinks, buying food, and really leaned into it. And so I think that New Orleans once again showed like this is a place where you can come and we can really handle the influx and let us host you.
Yeah. And I saw one of the videos somebody was posting of Café Du Monde out in the French Quarter out there. And the line was from Café Du Monde all the way to Jack's Brewery. You know, it's just, everybody wants that New Orleans experience. And we had somebody came in from out of town last week as well. And I did a little bit of a walking tour with her around the city. And we forget all the little gems we have around the city, the history that we have. This is a really cool city from somebody from the outside coming in. So the more people can get in, whether it's an Eras tour, whether it's a Super Bowl, whether it's a Mardi Gras, and come experience the nice side of New Orleans that we know is out there. Great economic benefit long term for the city. Huge win for the city, I believe.
Yeah, and I think also, we had like one of the things we talked about before the show is a lot of celebrities who came in for the shows and visited for the shows. That gets news coverage.
Absolutely.
Which also is good news coverage for the city. In past years, we've already done a show where we discussed recently how much our crime rate has improved and reduced in comparison to other large metros in the city. And so for me, at least, in the back of my mind, I had a passing thought when this weekend was coming, it'd be really terrible if we had some type of violent crime with these young girls and an influx of a bunch of women in for the concert. And we didn't. The police did a great job. A lot of the videos you saw with the police who were policing the event, they're dancing with the families and wearing friendship bracelets too. And so I think we're on a very positive trajectory with the city. Look, we got problems just like any major city, but the trajectory is positive, and I think everybody's feeling it. We hopefully get a new mayor next year. I'm not going to go into that tailspin, but that's a positive too, in my opinion. And so I think this was a really good thing for us, especially as we gear up to host the Super Bowl and a similar influx in size of people.
Yeah, and it's another one of those stories that we're kind of adding to our belt. That it's a reframing of how people view the city of New Orleans. Because for too long, it's been a very negative framework. We heard about the crime rate, we heard about the politics and stuff like that. People were losing interest in the city. And especially after COVID, when we had a lot of shutdown with concerts not happening. I see a lot of national groups or national tours. They're kind of have been skipping over New Orleans as a destination for having a concert. So maybe that even opens up the door for more of these big national acts to want to come here and put on a performance, seeing how well this one did. So it's just like one of those little things. It's that first domino. When you push it, so many more things can happen afterwards. So like I said, it's a huge win for the city. I loved it. My youngest daughter, shares a birthday with Taylor Swift. We'll be inviting her to her birthday if she wants to come. But yeah, she was excited about it.
Taylor downloads the Overrule podcast.
I think she is she's a listener, definitely.
Yeah, she's definitely listening.
But yes, big positive, high five for the city of New Orleans and hosting the Taylor Swift concert and what we were able to do with it.
Yeah, I mean, I guess on a closing note, Brad, the only regret I have is
not getting tickets.
Oh no, about that. I wouldn't say I'm a Swiftie yet. I'm a big supporter of her and what she does, but from an economic impact and as a performer. But the one regret I have is that now that I guess I don't know if I'll still be able to hold on to it, but you may not know this, but with all the injury group, I've been doing a lot of cheesy pun jokes with Taylor Swift songs for the last week. And so now that Miles is Miles may be sick of it. I can see that. So I am kind of sad that I won't be able to have any more cheesy puns jokes with the Taylor Swift song.
Well, if that's all we lose from this, I think that's probably a good thing.
Probably so.
All right, sir, take us out.
Well, great discussion. I think it's been a great impact on the city. And so really thank you to Taylor Swift and her entire team for the economic impact they had on the city. $500 million coming in.
Come back anytime you like, Taylor.
A great thing. We hope you come back soon. And that goes to all of our listeners, too. Thank you so much for listening. This has been a great discussion. This is, once again, the Overrule Podcast. I'm David Vignair with my co-host, Brad Scott. Brought to you by the Scott Vignair Law Firm. Thanks for joining us, and we hope to see you all next time.
Take care.
Scott Vignair, injury attorneys. We fight for the win.
Information is for illustrative purposes only and does not constitute tax, investment, or legal advice. Always consult with a qualified investment, legal, or tax professional before taking any action.